to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.
What's up, Jacket Nation? I'm Bryon Swino of Swino Visuals and Jacket Nation Sports. I'm filling in for Scout and Levi this week to recap some of the activities that LHS has been up to this past week. Let's start with some recognitions that Coach Christian and the football staff put out this week. Abe Allen was honored with the Landon Adrian Heart of the Yellow Jacket Award. The Charlie Brown Commitment Award was given to Eli Jackson. Jake Redman was awarded the Top O-Line Justin Britt Award. And Avery Starnes earned the brand new Rudy Zavalos Finish Award. Coach C said that this award will recognize and honor Rudy's never quit approach and the fact that he finished with everything he had. Rudy's legacy will live on in our program forever. There's also a 5K being held soon on March 8th, 2025 in Rudy's honor. And they just released a new website where you can sign up to participate, sponsor, or get all the details for the event. If you're interested, go check out runlikerudy.org. You might just see me out there running along with everyone. So I encourage all of you guys to come out for the event. Switching gears to Lady Jacket basketball. The girls had a very hard-fought battle against Republic this week, but came up a little bit short. These ladies put a ton of effort into playing hard as a team. I encourage any one of you guys to come check them out before the season ends. Girls wrestling had senior night this Tuesday, and we streamed the entire event, just like a lot of other LHS athletics, on the Jacket Nation Sports YouTube channel. There were some standout performances that night by Jessa Joyner, Baylin Williams, and Alyssa Dawson, among several others. I was also there filming for an upcoming episode of The Extra Mile, so keep your eyes peeled for that coming very, very soon. It's going to be awesome. Very big thank you to Justin and Katie Huff with Mosley's Discount Office Supplies and Cameron Cromer with Pure Sweat for coming on board to sponsor a couple of those Extra Mile video episodes. If you would like to sponsor one of those and get your name in the video, your business name in the video, get a hold of myself or us here at Jacket Nation Sports, LEB TV. Shoot us a message somewhere. We will get it. The LHS boys basketball team came back in an incredible come-from-behind victory over the Neosho Wildcats this past week. They were down by nearly 20 at one point and came back to win the whole game. You can check out the replay of that game on the Jacket Nation Sports YouTube, just like any other game or event that we stream. You can go back and you can relive them on the Jacket Nation Sports YouTube channel. Diving into the pool, the Lady Jackets swim team were straight up flying through the water at their meet this past week. Lucy Huff won the 100 breaststroke with a personal best time. Missy Mizell won the 100 backstroke, and they teamed up with fellow LHS lady swimmers Addison McKnight and Evelyn Martin to not only win first place in the 200 freestyle relay, but they also set a new school record in the event. Great job, ladies. It was awesome to watch. I was actually there filming as well. The Lebanon men's wrestling team traveled to Willard for an assembly duel in front of their whole entire student body. Coach Nathaniel Rogers said, "Despite the intense environment and hostile crowd, our boys wrestled well, winning the first 4 matches and fighting through every situation." Those with wins included Aiden Hicks, Caleb Branch, Joe Garner, Caden Branch, Luke Smith, Ty Alley, and Tanner White. And speaking of LHS men's wrestling, they are actually the ones joining Kevin and Ramsey today at Buzz Cuts Barbershop. Stay tuned to the rest of this episode to hear from them. Don't forget, you can check out live athletic event coverage on our YouTube channel, Jacket Nation Sports, and come back here every Thursday and Friday for Jacket Talk and Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV.
My name is Jaysha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
Welcome to Jacket Talk from Buzz Cuts in downtown Lebanon. Our show brought to you today, as always, by Mid-Missouri Bank, by Ginger Wellness, also Jacket Nation Sports, and by Mercy. Kevin Stubblefield. We're joined by Lebanon wrestling coach Nathaniel Rogers today as we get onto the mat on Jacket Talk. How's the season gone so far?
It's going well. You know, every season kind of has its ups and downs, but we've got a really good team right now. They're wrestling well, and I feel like we're peaking at the right time. So it's a good season.
Against good competition as always, correct?
Absolutely. Toughest conference in the state, leading up to probably the toughest district in the state. That's the way we like it, though.
What's the difference between Ozark Conference Wrestling and the COC?
A little bit tougher. We're basically just took the toughest teams from the Ozark Conference and put them in the COC, which is already really tough, and makes kind of a super conference. And so it's pretty exciting. Kind of prepares us for those high-level matches that we're going to see at the end of season, ones that we really want to prepare for.
Mm-hmm. Talk about your roster. Are the numbers adequate this season for you?
Yeah, they've been adequate. It's always nice to have a full room, having a lot of wrestlers in there. Just the more tough kids you have in the room, the better everybody's going to be. They get to fight every day. But we have really quality kids, and they're getting good quality matches every single day. That pressure pot is really what turns them into the animals they are. And so it's pretty exciting.
How many years for you now as head coach?
This is my third year.
You were involved with the program previously.
Yes. Yeah, I was here for, it's hard to remember, 8 or 9 years before that. And so I've been here the whole time, got to see be a part of the process. Seeing our team when it was really good and when we struggled some, and it's been awesome.
What have you tried to do to enhance and continue to build further what Coach Ruark did with the program?
Yeah, Coach Ruark did a great job. He really tutored me and mentored me up and got me prepared for this. And so, again, all those years that I was here, we'd been working for a long time to build the program into something that was we could be proud of and that the community could be proud of. And so I've kind of continued that. Wrestling as a sport is always evolving. And so I'm constantly having to adapt and evolve and do things a little bit different just to make sure that we stay above the curve on those things. And so kind of just building on what we've done, not trying to restart anything. Mm-hmm. So
take us through a normal practice session in the practice room on a daily basis. What's your format there and some of the things that you do?
Yeah, it can be different depending on the day. Some days we got to go harder than others. Pre-match, tournament day, you want to go a little bit easier on them, a lot of drilling. But generally speaking, we start off with a good warm-up, go through some drills. We work on some moves. We get any training they need, do some live wrestling and some conditioning. It's kind of how general practice plans go. And I give more or less depending on what we need at the time. So
conditioning is never a final product when it comes to wrestling.
No, I don't think you can ever be too in shape as a wrestler. And so that's something that we work really hard on. And if we do practice right, we don't have to spend a ton of time on conditioning at the end because a good practice is part of that conditioning.
What's involved as far as the preseason leading up to the start of the regular season?
It's just getting everybody used to our norms and standards and making sure that everybody's hitting the drills that we hit right, understanding the moves, and really just spending time just fighting with each other in the room, just developing that, mentality that you're gonna fight hard through the whole thing. We firmly believe that their toughest matches are going to be in our room, and whenever you have those matches every day, when you go wrestle somebody from another school that's not been used to that, they're not ready for it. They can't handle it.
It is no doubt a physical occupation. Have you been able to stay healthy for the most part through the course of the season? There's always going to be bumps and bruises and things that occur, but overall, has the health factor been pretty good for you?
Yeah, there's always some injuries here or there. We've had, a couple kids miss out for like concussion protocol and just start to work their way back in. Had somebody that missed some time with a thumb injury and just kind of wrestling's a tough sport. It's going to happen. You're going to get bumps and bruises. We try to mitigate it as much as possible, take care of them so that, again, by the end of the season, we are at our peak and wrestling our best, and we've taken care of all those injuries.
How do you, as a coach, identify a wrestler's best move? Do you do that, or do they already know that themselves, and how do you work to kind of hone in on that?
Yeah, so they're going to have to develop their best move, their bread and butter on their own. We go through a series of moves. We're going to show them all kinds of stuff. We show them in series. We show them these are high percentage moves. This is where we this is the stuff everybody needs to be good at. And this is stuff that we know is safe and is going to work well. And then they kind of develop from there. And so we try to give them some time to develop that, especially during live wrestling, some independent drilling, things like that, where they can hone in on which positions they're good at. And everybody's going to be a little different. The short, stocky kid, his favorite move is definitely not going to be the same as the tall, lanky kid. Like, they're going to wrestle a little bit different. And so we try to provide an opportunity for them to develop within our system based on who they are and how they wrestle. Mm-hmm. And if they want to focus on something, they're going to be way more intent with it than if we're forcing them to work on something they don't want to.
What's the process now in high school wrestling of making weight and maintaining weight now compared to what it was previously?
It's a lot safer now. It's a lot more controlled. In the past, we didn't really have any rules, kind of the Wild West, and a kid could wrestle 160 on Saturday and then on Tuesday go wrestle 130. Like, they could be all over the place, just depending on what they were willing to do and if they could make the weight. Now we have some other rules in place, and so at the very beginning of the season, they have to pass weight certification tests, which they have hydration, and they get on the scale, they check their fat percentage, all these things, and that will tell us how much weight they can lose per week. And so it keeps them regulated. And I'll have kids that'll be like, hey, I want to go wrestle this weight class. And I'm like, well, you can't wrestle that weight class until 2 tournaments from now. Like, it tells me strictly this is what they can do. And so it kind of keeps us all honest. We also get a 2-pound growth allowance after January. So the kids that were kind of growing, because they're high school kids and they're going to be growing, they get a chance to kind of grow 2 pounds and not have to be cutting so hard throughout the season.
Are you able to fill all the weight classes on a daily basis? And has there been a lot of competition within that weight class?
Yeah, we filled the weight classes. Sometimes when we're dealing with some injuries here or there, we'll be open at a weight or something. But for the most part, we filled all the weight classes. We've done a pretty good job with that. That's one of the things that we kind of struggle with, though, sometimes, is even against big schools, we show up and they've still got holes in their lineup. And so I was looking at, Ty Alley, for example, he'd hurt his thumb. He'd missed a tournament, a couple duels. And then Caleb Branch, our 13-pounder, he's been there every time for everything that we've had. And so I was looking at match count, though, and Ty, even by missing that tournament, those duels, he had more matches than Caleb because Caleb has had so many buys. We show up to a duel and they don't have a 13-pounder. And so he's had so many buys that fewer matches. Mm-hmm. So that happens sometimes. So,
in your estimation, who has really excelled this season and really put forth a good effort on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's hard to limit that to just one or two, because I'm telling you, everybody has grown so much throughout the season. Seeing really good wrestling from everybody. And so it's pretty exciting. We've got a young class that came in, and they've been fighting hard every day. I could go through everybody on the list and say I've seen huge improvements throughout the season. And again, it's just a testament to the way that they're fighting in the room and the way they're pushing each other to be better. It's cool watching them like cheer for each other and get excited and help each other out. Sometimes we'll have one of our wrestlers might be in a tough spot, and then somebody else comes in the next match and makes it right. They do something to turn the tide a little bit. We had one of our wrestlers got in a bad spot in a Willard duel, got in kind of a precarious situation, didn't look great, and then he worked his way out of it, kept going. This is a assembly duel, in front of their student body. Right. And so, they kind of laughed at first, and then he turned the tide, but then we had our 75-pounder came in there and picked the kid up and walked him around the mat, winking at their student body, letting them know he picked it up for him. And so that's just one of those things that, like, everybody on the team has gotten better because of that mindset, because they're in it not just for themselves, but for everybody else too. And our whole lineup's gotten better throughout the season.
That's kind of the fabulous dynamic of wrestling. It's an individual sport, but you still have the group camaraderie, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I said it earlier. You cannot succeed by yourself in this sport. You can't do it. You have to have that tough competition with you. You have to have those guys that are going to surround you and keep your head up when you need it and fight with you when you need that. And they're going to push you to be better.
Who do you have on your coaching staff this season?
We got a great coaching staff. So we have, let's see if I can go in order by who's been here the longest. So, Coach Jake Sobbing, he's a Park Hill graduate, won several state titles with them, team titles. He was All-State in high school. He was a Fargo All-American. He does a great job with us. We have Coach Austin Boyshausen. He's a former Lebanon graduate. Great guy, awesome wrestler. He went and wrestled at Truman State, and so it's cool having some college experience there too. We got Coach Bill Booth. He was a Hall of Fame coach in Alaska, and moved here to Lebanon. He was like, "Hey, I want to do some coaching." I was like, "Absolutely, let's go." And so he's brought a lot of experience, and he's been awesome for us. And then we had a new add-on this year, Coach Mitchell Bolkin. He's a varsity wrestler for Mizzou, just graduated, had a great career. He was a high school state champion, multiple time team champions too, from Smithville, and then went to Mizzou, had a great career there. Now he's here coaching with us. And so we've got a phenomenal staff. They pour into these kids every day, and it's cool to watch.
The Lebanon Youth Wrestling Program has really kind of been the foundation of everything. Is that a continuation?
Absolutely. We run in, I think last I looked, we had like 120 kids signed up in our club. And we've got so many, we are always having to run multiple practices, going 3 days a week and getting them everything they need. And it's cool going to a tournament and you have 10 dads that are there ready to coach. And you've got 40 kids that are on all these mats. And at any one time in a tournament, I can look around and I can see, well, we're on this mat, and doing well. And so it's a cool sight to see.
Whenever I would always visit with Coach Roark, he said, if you want to wrestle, there's wrestling opportunities throughout the year. Is that still the case?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's wrestling can be a year-round sport. I'm a big proponent of being a multi-sport athlete. You know, you kind of need that break here and there, but man, definitely get some opportunities in the off season. You know, I try to promote those off season tournaments as much as I can. And so I take my son to a couple camps and a couple tournaments, you know, in the summertime, in the fall. He's 9. And so I'm still trying to get him in some stuff like that. So from the youth level all the way through high school, they can get some competition year round. We'll be practicing year round within the limits that Misha sets for us. We try to do that. And so, I don't know. It can be a year round sport though.
Schedule wise, got the Joplin tournament coming up. Who are you going to see there?
Yeah. So it's a COC tournament. So we're going to see everybody in the COC. And so all 14 teams will be there. Some sports, they have it separated, the East and the West. In wrestling, we will all compete in one bracket. Every wrestler will compete in the same bracket. And then at the end, they'll give, they'll have an East champion award and a West champion award, but everybody's going to wrestle in the same bracket.
And then you're in the Class 4 realm as far as the state is concerned. District 3 at Ozark, 16 teams. So no doubt that's going to be a tough chore to get people out of there.
Absolutely. It's a dogfight. Every match is going to be a fight. But that's what we train for. That's what we prepare for. We want those tough matches. We know early on in, my career here at Lebanon and before that, we would have some kids that would qualify to state, but it was like always a struggle to do well at the state tournament. Like they would be state qualifiers, but then, we'd have one or two kids here or there break through that state medal, state champion. But we found that the tougher we make our competition throughout the season, the more prepared we are for that state tournament and the better our wrestlers wrestle there, which is really the ultimate goal. And so I would rather be, second place at districts and a state medalist than a district champ and not on the podium.
Put you on the spot here. Who do you think can get through and get to Columbia?
And I've been looking at that. I've been comparing our lineups to those in our district. We have some kids that have proven themselves throughout the year to they're always at the top of their brackets every tournament we go to. I think Caleb Branch, I think Joe Garner, I think Ty Alley have a very, very strong chance. They wrestle the way they're supposed to. They should be there compared to who we've wrestled throughout the district. But we also have probably 4 or 5 others that are knocking at that door. They're right there. They have a good tournament. They wrestle. They peak when they're supposed to. We've been talking about boiling. 211-degree water is hot water. 212-degree water is boiling. And so we want to be boiling at the right time. So we get them at 212 degrees, but the district tournament, we could be taking 7 or 8 kids to the state tournaments.
As far as what's coming up through the pipeline, are you encouraged and confident that at the classes down below that they're going to keep the tradition going for you?
Absolutely. That's another thing, too. It's cool watching. I come up and I can see these youth practices. So I try to coach like my kids' age groups at those youth practices, but I see some of the older kids coming in there, and it's exciting. So we still have some of those 8th grade kids that are going to come in next season. I'm like, you're going to be able to make an impact right away. And some of the ones that may not make an impact right away are going to have a couple of years to develop, and they're going to be, I could see most of them on the podium also. And so it's pretty cool.
Coach, appreciate the visit. Have a great COC tournament, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach Nathaniel Rogers of Lebanon Wrestling. Ramsey's back with more in just a moment on Jacket Talk.
How much has your bank paid you? We've paid our Kasasa account holders more than $7 million since 2017. Open an account in minutes to get in on the earnings today.
What's going on? Ramsey Stewart, Jacket Nation Sports, LEB TV. Sitting down today with, we had some of the boys wrestling team come in and saw the interview with Coach Rogers. I'm sitting down with senior Micah Perryman. Be sure to come back tomorrow and check out the full interview, but we're going to take a few seconds just to kind of get to know Micah and maybe embarrass him a little bit. But Micah, introduce yourself.
I'm Micah Perryman, senior in high school, and yeah.
Nothing else?
No.
That's you?
I've been wrestling for 10 years.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm the only senior wrestling right now, so.
Gotcha. So let's just get to know you a little bit. Favorite movie?
8 Seconds.
8 Seconds. Who else said that? Balin, I think, said that. Balin Williams.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Balin Bob. I always get confused. But yeah, she was riding for the lane. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm not at all surprised that's your favorite.
Why is that?
Just you, your dad, your family. I feel
Yeah.
like it pretty well fits. Favorite food?
Casey's Breakfast Pizza.
Okay. Ooh, solid choice.
Yeah.
Best school lunch?
Chinese.
Chi-
Thursdays.
Okay. Every Thursday, Chinese day?
Yeah.
What do they have? Like cashew chicken, sweet and sour chicken? What?
Yeah. Egg rolls, rice, and stuff.
Are you even allowed to eat that being in wrestling right now, or do you have to
I shouldn't, but I do.
just portion control, right?
Exactly.
What? Tell me some of the fun things you like to do outside of wrestling.
I like to hunt, stuff like that.
Turkey or deer?
Both.
Both. You don't have a preference,
I like to deer hunt more.
right? Rifle or bow?
Rifle. I'm not
Rifle.
very good with the bow yet.
Okay, it's a lot more work too.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys have to stalk them and do all the things. You have to be real quiet. Like,
My brother's really into bow hunting, so
Gotcha.
Josiah.
so he's better than you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hunting in general.
Hunting
So,
in general, but not anything else.
No.
All right. Well, you get to know senior Micah Perryman a little bit. Be sure to come back tomorrow, Friday, and we'll have a little bit more with Micah and talk about school and wrestling and some of the things that make Micah Micah. And I'm excited to sit down and chat with you. Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Welcome back to Jacket Talk. It's Thursday, sitting here with Caleb, Caden,
Cade.
and Caleb. This is Dad's fault because you two look the same, and you're almost twins, but you're not twins. So, Caleb, Kate, right? Caleb, Caden. I'm not joking. I'm
Caleb.
Caleb,
Cade.
Okay,
Yeah.
Caleb and Caden. All right. So we're having a conversation with these guys. We're in the middle of wrestling season, sophomore and junior, right, guys?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to ask you a few questions, just kind of get to know you, and then be sure to tune in Friday for Jacket Talk Overtime. We'll go a little bit more into wrestling and the things these guys got going on, but excited to have you guys here, so thank you very much. Let's get started. Favorite movie?
I would say Southpaw.
Southpaw, Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Okay.
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. All right. Which favorite part of Talladega Nights?
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, Ricky
Yep.
Bobby. All right.
Yep.
What about Southpaw?
I'd say just like in the ring.
In the Ring?
Mhm.
Okay. It's a good movie. Been a while since I've seen that one. So Saturday conference. Are we music beforehand, headphones in? How are we getting prepped for Saturday?
I don't use music. I just put my headgear on.
Put your headgear on and just kind of zone out?
Yep.
What about you?
Just get in that zone.
Did that zone? What gets you fired up? How do you get there? Think back previous matches. You think about the goals of the day, the season. Is that kind of how you do it?
Mhm. I'd say like the matches, just remembering myself winning and stuff.
A lot of mental toughness, a lot of that. What about you?
Tell myself that I can do it, and saying why not me?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So it's wrestling. You guys obviously, what classes do you wrestle?
I wrestled 113.
113 and
126.
all right. So do we weight cut much?
Oh yeah.
A lot?
Yeah.
You?
No.
No, you get to stay kind of, so you don't have to worry about your diet as much, right?
Yeah.
Favorite food?
I'd say fried chicken.
Fried chicken. You?
I don't know.
Micah's a big fan of Chinese Day at school. So
Yeah.
is it as good as he says it is?
No, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Might be the worst day.
Then what's the best day?
Probably when they have chicken.
Just chicken?
Mm.
Anything chicken?
Well, it's like chicken strips, and they have like gravy, like
Okay.
the white gravy and
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. And you dip your chicken in the
Okay.
gravy.
So it's like you get to go to Dairy Queen, but it's at school. Okay. What about you? What's your favorite school lunch?
I've not ate lunch to school this year.
What
I'm
do
in
you-
Go
what-
Caps,
Oh, okay.
so I get out early and go out to wherever I want.
Oh, nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Nah.
If you could have dinner with anyone, ever, alive, dead, who would you have dinner with?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali? Why?
Just the inspiration from him.
Really? The swagger, the confidence, the mental,
Yeah.
that side of it.
Success.
Yep. You?
I'd say John Jones, the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC.
Oh, no. No. Really?
Yes, sir.
You're going to go down on that? John Jones? No. What about, you think he's right or wrong?
Heavyweight, yeah.
Heavyweight, but so who's the best? Who's the GOAT?
I don't know.
The only right answer is John Jones.
Why? Why?
Oh, no.
I'm not a fan. He's an incredible athlete, incredible UFC fighter. Just not a huge fan. I don't know. It's always something's always been bugged me about him. Maybe it's he's been in some trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his. I don't know. I just felt like he's always had a. I don't know. He's really good. It's
Yeah.
hard to argue.
That's fair, but
it
everyone
really
has
is.
to pass.
Right. And it's hard to argue. I think it's mainly just because I don't want to agree with you just for the sake of
Yeah.
not agreeing with you. I'm a big outside the UFC fan. So like I know Conor is not the greatest UFC fighter of all time, but I think he's the GOAT of UFC. I think what he did for the sport, how he's built it, how he's built, and he's got a past too. He's got some things that have happened, but like I like the marketing side of what he does, but no disrespect to John Jones, but I don't even like Khabib, but I think Khabib's a better.
Can't stand Khabib.
How do you guys not like Khabib?
I
And
like
he's like a
Khabib.
wrestler.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't think
I don't know. I can't stand wrestlers in UFC.
Yeah, it's not as entertaining.
It's not as nowhere fair or fun to watch.
Gotcha. Well, we debated cashew chicken versus fried chicken. We know you're a fan of gravy. We know you like the movie. What did you say? Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
So we get to know these guys a little bit. Be sure to check out tomorrow, Friday, for Jacket Talk Overtime. We're going to talk about all things wrestling and some of the things you guys got going off the mat and plans for the future. So, guys, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Cade and Caleb.
Opposite.
I appreciate all of you guys watching this week. Go Jackets.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.